Mr. Chief Justice, and members of the Commission. I'm delighted to have this opportunity to speak with you very briefly this morning about the program that the Center for Civic Education is proposing for our senior high schools. The Chief Justice, in his opening remarks this morning, said that he hoped that we would turn this celebration of the Constitution into a great civics lesson for all Americans. Well, at the Center for Civic Education, we hope to go the Chief Justice one better. We would like to do not only a lesson on the importance of the Constitution, we have devised a series of 30 lessons which will encompass 6 weeks of sustained attention to the Constitution and its development, which we hope to see in operation in all of the nation's senior high schools. It requires them, however, to do more than simply read and discuss some substantive texts. In this respect, the Center for Civic Education program differs from the traditional kinds of contests of essays, art, posters, speech contests, and so on, which really rest on primarily individual efforts. In contrast, the Civic Education program requires students to interact. The importance of dealing with civic virtue as an objective of this program, in my judgment, cannot be overestimated. We know from research that neither patriotic rituals nor exhortations on the part of politicians, teachers, parents, well-meaning civic leaders is sufficient to arouse the kind of commitment and the internalization of American ideals which are essential. And therefore, this program, by actively involving students in informed dialogue, in moot court presentations on current congressional and constitutional issues, will help them internalize the fundamental premises which undergird our constitutional system. Dr. Mark Cannon, in a very informed article, used the felicitous phrase, the cerebration of the Constitution, exhorting us to a thoughtful examination of what it is all about. And that is what this program hopes to do. Certainly there is place for celebration, and I have been delighted to hear this morning of the plans that many cities across the nation, including Philadelphia, have for celebrating this great event, because celebrations evoke an emotional kind of response. But you and I, as educators, and educators to an entire nation, which is what this commission really is, need to go beyond celebration. We need to progress to cerebration, to an understanding of and commitment to our constitutional government. That's particularly important for us to do with the young, who one day will be occupying the seats which this commission now holds, and which those of us who are presently in service to the nation are engaged in. And so we hope that with this program we can indeed provide a series of civic lessons which will lead to the celebration of the Constitution. Thank you very much.
Dr. Branson, thank you very much. Your program, reaching the younger people, could well be one of the most important aspects of the entire celebration and cerebration, as you have addressed it. I think I'm sure that all the members of the Commission would share the view that it's terribly important that the students very early understand that this Constitution didn't spring just suddenly from nowhere, that the men who drafted it were familiar with the history of Greece and of Rome, and then more recently of the Scottish Enlightenment, and drew on all of those sources of wisdom. And we want to keep in very close touch with you and with your program. Now, any questions of the Commission? Apparently not. Thank you very much.